Welcome back to another episode of the free VST Plugins Detective, where I review, test out, and demonstrate various free VSTs. It's time for an Auto-Tune plugin, and this is the MAutoPitch. I'm going to give this one a 4.25 out of 5. I think for a free Auto-Tune plugin, it has some great uses in it, but there are some things I don't like, and some of the algorithms that it uses specifically for the Auto-Tune process, not 100% the biggest fan of, but for a free plugin, you can't go wrong. So I'm going to mute it first and play this amazing version of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star I just sang. So let's play it up. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Actually, I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Actually, I'm just going to do this. Let's do that to make it. So you can hear my amazing voice a little bit louder. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. All right, so in case anyone wants to give me an amazing record deal because of how amazing of a singer I am. But the good thing about this plugin is that way I can show you, okay, you know, if you're a really bad singer like me, here's what you can do. So I'm going to turn it on. Now this, I'm going to play it again with this plugin on, and keep in mind, this is going to be kind of the default setting of the plugin. So we haven't even touched any of the parameters yet. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. All right, so as you can see, first off, I have automatic tune. I have the depth, the speed, the detune, and the bass frequency. I would not touch the bass frequency or really the detune. I think the depth and the speed is going to be the number one thing. Think of the speed almost like the attack. How quickly do you want the correction to kind of kick in? So if I say I do it, see if I do something like that. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So using some CPU, but if I turn it up all the way. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right. And then you have depth, which is basically how much of the intensity of that auto-tune is going to kick in. So let's say do it up all the way. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right, now it's kind of having that T-Painy type sound, you know? So then speed down all the way too. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right, nothing, right? So you can adjust that as you want. Now you have effects, you have the dry wet, you have the keep formants, which I think I would always suggest checking this out. The width, you can use this in the plugin, or you could use a separate width type effect as a different VST, or the formant shift. The formant shift, now these are more, like, as it sounds, effects, right? So if I'm going to turn up the formant shift, you notice my voice can get very, very warped. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right, or if I want to go all the way down. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right, so actually you almost want like that deep house almost kind of sound. The formant shift can help you out with that. In addition, let's do this. Can I just put this to 0? Oh, so you can enter in the value. So, you know, keeping formats or removing them, this is something that every cymbal is going to have a little bit of a different effect, especially anytime you modulate something. Whether you're keeping the formats or not, it's kind of random to see what comes out of it, right? So let's say, I'm going to play this again. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn it up. So I'm going to play it again with it all the way up. So this is going to be an octave, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little. Twinkle, twinkle. I don't just do too much on this one, surprisingly. Should do a lot more than that. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle. Yeah, formats don't do too much, surprisingly, because usually that can have a big effect, so it's kind of weird. But also the width I just turned up, which almost makes it a little bit phased, you know. I'm going to put that back to 0. So I'm going to take all the effects off, right? So now what you can do with the automatic tuning, we also have detector, right? Which you can do stuff like this. So twinkle, twinkle, once it gets past like a certain point, right? So this kind of, I don't know if I touch this as much, but obviously this is more like maybe some like light EQing, you know, when it comes to the minimum and maximum frequency. And then obviously, you know, the threshold, let's say once it gets past a certain volume, you then want it to kick in. So I'm just going to kind of mute that. And then you have the scale, right? So now this is where things can get kind of interesting, because now I can do something like this, right? So let's say I do that. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right, but now let's say I'm like, all right, I just want it to be, let's do, C scale. So let's do this. So I'm going to do that. Or actually, let's just do this, right? So that's only in C now. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So now it's going to try to make it towards C. So now if I just do something like this, switch it to that. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right. You kind of affect the scale that way. But then obviously what's cool is you have this selected. So let's say I want to keep it within a very specific, you know, thing or whatever. So twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right. And then we have, obviously, all these different effects here, too, right? If you, like, say, want to have different versions of it, if you want to do, like, A/B testing and everything. And then we have all this as well. So, like, say I want to process a specific audio file. So, there are some very specific things you can do. So, let's see, like, let's try some of the presets just for fun here. So, let's say I have a doubler, right? So, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right. Or let's do, let's try woman from a man.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Interesting. Let's try then man from a woman.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
And then let's try share. Let's try share. Okay. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So yeah, so as you can hear, it can kind of adjust the pitch and everything. However, I will say, and again, it is cool that you can kind of have, you know, the different scales. Again, if you don't know music theory, this can help out a lot. However, though, it is kind of annoying if, let's say, I want to, let's say, just make it the C note. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Or kind of adjust it. It doesn't slave as much to the Autotune compared to other free Autotune VSTs I've used, right? So this is kind of a tricky thing. I do have this, though, so I can kind of mix things up if I want to see the meters. And this can be good graphically, so like twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right, or let's say if I want to see, you know, the width. Again, if you notice, twinkle, pretty there, but next if I do that, then we have twinkle, right? Twinkle, little star. So you can do some unique things with this plugin, and I kind of like some of the customization. But again, when it comes to some Autotune plugins, again, I'm giving this one a 4.25 out of 5 because I think finding an Autotune plugin, especially one that's free, can be very, very difficult. Not as good as some of the other plugins I've used, but I think especially if you want to do some slight pitch correction, or again, if you want to have that super warped, almost just if you want to just warp the vocals, not necessarily for pitch correction, but just to make it this crazy unique sound. Again, if I want to do something like weird like this,
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
you can do some really unique ones with this plugin.